Head west toward 14.
I've just spent the past about hour in this Safeway parking lot in a small town in Washington. I'm headed to Spokane this evening. I want to hit up the Planet Fitness. I'm probably going to sleep at a rest area tonight. I have plans in the city pretty early tomorrow, and I'm just heading east. I'm headed out of Washington in the next day, and that's what we're going to see in this video, as well as I'm going to talk about why I'm still in Washington. There is a very specific reason why I have yet to leave Washington, even though it has now been over 2 weeks, like 2.5 weeks maybe, since I lost my housing and my job ended. So I will discuss that a little bit later, but right now I want to get back out on the road and head into the city so I can hit up that Planet Fitness. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Christine. After starting life over in 2020, I'm using seasonal work to build financial security, experience new places, and most importantly, keep living life as a big adventure. Come along as I live like a local in desired destinations, spend time in nature hiking, backpacking, and living out of my car, and craft the trips of my dreams on a backpacker's budget.
There have been so many bugs through this area. My windshield is crazy. Seems like the thing to do might be to park over here if I want to camp up for the night. I'm actually going to choose this spot here under this light. I'm so sorry about the windshield. I've actually never done this before. I just stay at rest stops, or I disperse camp, or I stay at a campground. I'm afraid this always looks way less comfortable than it actually is because I don't have a lot of ceiling height here in the car. I do wish I had more of that, but fortunately I have this moonroof here. So if I want to sit straight up, I totally can, as long as the headliner is open. So that works out fine. Otherwise I can just kind of like lounge. I'm gonna have some salad and chicken that I picked up at Safeway earlier here for dinner and just relax for the evening. I've been watching The Bear for the first time on Disney Plus, and I do have good cell reception here, so I should be able to do that. But yeah, I'm at Cabela's. I've never stayed at a Cabela's or a Walmart or a Cracker Barrel or anything like that before. So this is my first time, but it seems like there's plenty of other rigs here. So I should be good to stay the night. And it was just kind of an impulsive decision. I was driving on I-90 eastbound and actually just crossed over into Idaho. So technically I have already left Washington, but I will be getting up tomorrow morning and headed straight back into Washington because I have, sorry, I'm just observing. I have a breakfast scheduled with my sister-in-law in Spokane. She's actually in the city visiting one of her friends. She's visiting from out of state. And it just worked out that we were going to be in the city at the same time. So I'm going to go have breakfast with her, and I'm so excited for that because as my channel name alludes to, I am nomad unknown. Oops. I am nomad unknown because I am always traveling along solo. And I'm going to talk about it when I'm less tired. But actually, one of the reasons why I've been hanging out in Washington for so long is something to do with the fact that I was planning to not necessarily travel solo. So I will chat about that a little bit more tomorrow. For tonight, salad, TV, cameras falling down. This morning I had a wonderful meetup with my sister-in-law and her close friend in downtown Spokane. We hit up a little spot that's kind of like a public market where there's a number of different vendors and you can eat in the communal area, or kind of like a food court too, I guess. Um, and it was good. We went to a gluten-free and vegan spot to just hit everybody's dietary needs, and I had a pumpkin spice waffle. Kindly, her friend said that she was okay with having a little bit of alone time and would go home, and I could go with my sister-in-law on a hike. Um, so there was a cool hike that she recommended and had done here before called Bowl and Pitcher. That was just a couple little miles, although we got a little bit turned around and lost just mostly because neither one of us was paying a significant amount of attention to what was happening. This is beautiful. But that was great. A little bit of extra exercise, and we just had a fantastic time catching up together. So I really, really enjoyed that. And now it's approaching evening time. It's coming to the point where it's time for me to leave Washington. I've been here all summer. This is my second summer I've spent in Washington. It's now autumn, and it's time for me to move east and explore some other areas. I alluded to it a little bit last night, but the reason my channel is called Nomad Unknown is that I'm really a solo traveler. It's not that that's my preferred method, it's just the only method that's available to me at this time. I started kind of planning some travel out towards the east of Washington and into some other states. I don't want to give everything away right now, but I started planning that trip while I was still working, and someone I was working with, a friend, a colleague, was interested in traveling with me. And so we made an agreement that we would travel together until nearing the end of October. We were supposed to meet up in Spokane, Washington on October 9th to start our journey together. I did get a text message from her a couple of days ago after actually having a dream that this would happen. But I got a text from her that unfortunately informed me that after she had concluded work for the season, she went home to her hometown in Washington and was not feeling ready to leave. So she was not going to be taking the road trip with me. It was a little bit of a short notice to be bailing out on the trip, but I would rather somebody just be honest with me up front than sort of unwillingly or come along just dragging their feet out of obligation. And quite honestly, I am ready to do it alone. I am very accustomed to traveling alone, and if I was always waiting for a partner for travel, then I would still be waiting. And many of the memories, the places I've been, and the people I've met would not be something that had happened
to me. I am moving forward alone on this journey, and I am okay with that. There is one component of it that's a little bit worrisome, a little bit disappointing, but I think I'll be fine, and that is that I'm traveling into an area where it's not necessarily ideal to be hiking or camping alone. Um, but I'm going to do my very best to make it work and keep a positive attitude and understand that it is my choice. And I am currently on my own timeline. So if I end up in a place that just doesn't feel like it's the right place for me to be because of safety or any other reason, then it's okay for me to move past and move out of that place and through that place a little bit faster than I had originally hoped. But that is the long and short of the reason why I have been in Washington for so long. Well, are you feeling ready to cross a state line or two? Because I know I am. So let's get on the road.
This is some kind of state park in Idaho, but I'm not really stopping here. It's just like really beautiful right now. Sorry about the really dirty windshield when we crossed the Idaho border. But when I got into Idaho, I did stop for gas. It's cheaper here than it is in Washington because of the taxes. And I did clean my windshield off a little bit, although it's still a little dirty. Onward we go! Okay, I'm only turning my light on for a second to film this, but I am going to be stealth camping tonight. I was actually expecting to stay at a Cracker Barrel, which oddly is just like a block away, but I pulled in there and there's a sign that says there's no overnight parking allowed due to city ordinance, and I was preparing to drive like 25 minutes back to a rest area. It's like 9:30 at night, and we're here. I'm on mountain time now, so we did move an hour ahead. But I'm tired, and I really would prefer not to do that driving because I'm now in Montana. I'm in Missoula, Montana, and this is where I want to be tomorrow. So I'd like to avoid doing the extra driving. And I saw this street that's lined with hotels and a couple of restaurants, and there's a bunch of cars parked on it, and they don't seem to have any sort of permit or anything, and I don't think that there are people sleeping in those cars, but I just kind of parked in between a couple of them and crawled in the back and put up my window coverings, which I kind of question if whether or not those draw more attention than anything, but we're gonna see how this goes tonight, and hopefully I don't get what they call the knock. We'll let you know how it goes in the morning. Wish me luck. I was intending to sleep at the Cracker Barrel, as I mentioned. If I had slept there, I was gonna go in and have some breakfast, but technically I did not sleep there, so I'm not going to do that, and I'm going to save that first for another time. Yeah, so the last 2 nights I slept in locations that were new to me in terms of style here on the street, stealth camping. Last night I was at Cabela's. I think it might be ready for a little bit more wilderness, but we'll see what the day holds. However, that's going to be in the next video. Thank you so much for joining me as I departed Washington. I appreciate you being here on my channel and supporting. And I'm now venturing out into grizzly country alone. So stay tuned to see what that holds. See you on the next one.